Thumbelina by Hans Christian Andersen, illustrated by Gustav Tengren. There was once a tiny little girl. She was sweet and pretty and no taller than your thumb, so Thumbelina was her given name. A nicely varnished walnut shell made a bed for her, with a violet petal mattress and a rose leaf coverlet. That was where she slept at night. But in the daytime she played about in a small dish garden where she rowed her tulip petal boat from side to side on a tiny flower-wreathed lake. It was the most charming sight she made, and she sang as she went in the sweetest little voice you ever heard. One night as she lay in her pretty bed, a great ugly toad came hopping by and saw the lovely maiden. "She would make just the wife for my son," thought the toad. So she snatched up Thumbelina, walnut shell and all, and hopped off back to the garden with her. There, in the muddy bank of a wide brook, the toad made her home with her ugly son. Now, while she decorated a room in their house with rushes and leaves for her daughter-in-law, the mother toad left Thumbelina in her walnut shell bed on a water lily leaf floating on the brook. In the morning, when the poor little thing woke up and saw where she was, she cried most bitterly, for the big green leaf had water all around it, so she could not possibly escape. The little fishes swimming in the water below heard her crying. They had caught sight of the ugly mother toad, and they knew what she had in mind. So they all swarmed around the tough green stalk that held Thumbelina's leaf, and they gnawed it through with their teeth. Then the leaf floated, with Thumbelina on it, far down the brook. At last her leaf boat swirled to a stop against a mossy bank in a strange forest world. She had no way to travel farther, so all through the summer Thumbelina lived quite alone in that enormous wood. From blades of grass she wove a bed. This she hung neatly under a leaf where she was sheltered from the rain. For food she had honey from the flowers, for drink the morning dew on the leaves, and so she passed the summer and autumn. Then came winter, the bitter winter. All the birds flew away, the flowers withered, the great leaf under which she had lived shriveled to a faded yellow stalk. As Thumbelina searched for a new shelter, it began to snow, and every snowflake that fell on her was as if a whole shovelful were thrown on one of us. So delicate and tiny was she.